to the Reality Receipts podcast, starring me, Storytime with Ricky.
And me, Reality Ashley. And today we are going to talk about The Valley, Season 2, Episode 2, which was a bit of a dark one.
Yeah.
I know. I've heard, everyone was saying the first 2 episodes are really heavy, and then it gets a little bit lighter now that we won't have Jax around. So
Yeah.
But
I wonder how long he's going to be out for the count. But yeah, it's our Bravo Day, guys.
Yeah.
It's our Bravo
Yes.
Day. So.
I love having the chance to talk about Bravo, and The Valley's been really good this season so far. I mean, we're still so brand new into it, but it's been a good one. Just before we get into every scene, I feel so, not to use this word because it's so overused, but gaslit by Jax, because the last few months he's been going on and on about, I need to take accountability. I need to help myself. I'm going to go get help. And we all were I knew he was going so hard in the press that the season wasn't going to look good for him. But, he made it seem as though this was all his idea. He wanted to get help for his addiction. And now it's become clear that, it came out on the show. And he knew as the premiere date approached, he had to come out publicly because this was all coming out anyway. So
Right.
Yeah.
It was so crazy watching his lack of growth from Vanderpump to now. You're a grown-ass man and you're still doing the same thing. Watching him in the, I mean, let's just get into it. So many things happen in the episode that when Brittany, okay, so the part that I'm specifically talking about is towards the end of the episode where Brittany comes over with Cruz. The first thing that I noticed was that Cruz did not seem excited to see his dad at all.
No.
He didn't run to him. He actually started crying.
I
know what I mean? And then for Jax to literally tell Brittany, I'll never forgive you for this.
Yes.
This is all your fault. I'm and then you're constantly bringing up her hooking up with your friend when a girl's panties are literally sitting on your counter. I was
so gross.
What is going on? How the hell did Brittany deal with this?
Yeah, that's what made it so clear to me that he had no say in this whole going away for 30 days, because he said, I'll never forgive you for this. So it's clear that Brittany went to production and said he needs help. I cannot film with him, because she said when she was listing all the things file for divorce, restraining order, and you'll lose your job. So I think obviously this came from production. They were go get help or you're fired. You can't be on the show anymore. And so he was sort of forced into it. And he's been making it seem for the last few months as though he wanted to get help to be a better person, and he was not. He was totally forced by production. What did you think of that phone call where he was talking to the mental health facility? It just seemed really staged.
It seemed so fake. I was what the hell's happening? This can't be the real process.
And his dramatic slamming the phone down on the table, and is there even anyone on the phone?
Yeah, it was so weird. And you're right. I guess I was a little confused when she said you're gonna lose your job. I was what is she talking about? What is she
on the
here?
show?
Yeah,
it was definitely something that, because this is the hard thing, is there's so many children involved in this drama. Usually we're used to watching Vanderpump Rules and it's cheating and messy, but these children are actually in the show, which it's hard. I don't like this part of it. I know it is probably more relatable to a lot of people who deal with this whole single parent, divorce, custody. That is relatable, but these are still real children that one day this is there forever. They're going to go back and watch this and see how much their parents fought and how much they hated each other, which maybe might make growing up in a divorced home better, because you can actually see how there was no other choice. But it's a lot to see. Like you said, Cruz didn't seem excited to see Jax, but Brittany came out recently and said he was diagnosed with autism. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I didn't see that, no.
Yeah, so I don't know if his lack of a reaction to Jax was because of that, but we saw him with Zach earlier in the episode, and he seemed happy to see him and gave him a little snuggle. So it could be just I've never seen how he usually reacts when someone enters a room, so I don't know if he didn't really want to see Jax, but you would have to imagine Jax has a rage issue, so he's probably seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. Who is this page girl that they were
Oh,
talking about? Like, I don't know who she is, but obviously, like, it seemed like just based on the conversation, like I should have known who she is. So who is she?
yeah, they should have given a little more backstory there because in the summertime, she was seen out with Jax a few times. He brought her to Jax's the bar, and Ariana's brother had like a birthday party there, and she was there. So she was around. I think that was before filming started, like in June-ish. So he went on like a golf tournament, and I don't know what it was for, like a celebrity golf tournament, and this girl Paige's dad was like in his group, and that's how he met her. That's all I know about it. So
Okay.
yeah, they went out a couple times. I
Seems
kind of
like
thought,
we're not supposed to be like hooking up with friends, but since Brittany broke the rules,
Yeah.
I can break the rules. So I'm like, I thought she was maybe in the friend group.
no, she's not in the friend group. Like nobody knows her in the friend group. I thought at the time it seemed a little like staged because like they kept doing like caught by the paparazzi photos, so it seemed very much like Jax just trying to like mess with Brittany. But now, like seeing her leave the house at 8 a.m. and her lipstick cup in the fridge, I'm like, oh, I guess they actually were hanging out. Like I
Her
didn't think it was
thong
real.
on the sink. Yeah.
The baby
Like,
wipe
did
thing.
you left without your panties on? Like,
Yeah.
just so confused.
Yeah, when you noticed that you were missing those, like it was a little bit breezy out there. Yeah, that was like Brittany said, it wasn't even a cute thong. It was just like a white hospital type. I mean, I guess they don't give out thongs at the hospital.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this? I thought
It
it was a
wasn't-
COVID mask. Like,
Yes,
I
it was
like,
giving like medically aesthetic, not like sexy.
Yeah, definitely not sexy for him to keep them. And then like the
Yeah.
baby wipe, it was just all so bizarre.
I
And,
saw
like,
somewhere that he said that the thong came from someone on the pub crawl thing they do. They did like a little tour in the summer where they had like a bus that went to a few of the bars, and he said it was from someone on that. So he said it wasn't Paige's thong, but I don't know. It seems like it would have been hers. I don't know who was giving.
Oh my god, it was so enraging to watch. Like,
Yeah.
like you're blaming her. You're still just like, what about me? Why didn't you check on me? Everything's about
Yeah.
me. And it's like, boy, you're the one who blew up on her. You're the one who threw stuff. You're the one who got violent with her. And like you're sitting here saying, what about me?
Yeah.
Like, I
Well,
don't
should we-
understand how Jax is not canceled yet. Like,
Well, he did. This is the funny thing is like they got fired from Vanderpump. Him,
Right,
Kristen, Stassi.
Right.
They did get canceled back in 2020, I think, or
Yeah.
2021. And then yeah, everything has shifted, and now they're all back on TV, and then everyone else
Stassi
on
back
Vanderpump.
TV?
Yeah, so she's actually getting her own show, and she's on Vanderpump Villa. So I tried to watch Vanderpump Villa last season.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't that into it, but now they're making it really hard to avoid because they're putting the Mormon moms on, Secret Life of Mormon's Wives, or whatever it's called, and then
That's good.
yeah, and Stassi too. So they're really trying to like beef it up so that we want to watch it. And there's, not to get off topic here, but there's all this drama online right now with it. Have you seen?
I seen what you posted about like one of the cast members saying, "Oh, like they don't want to hear the truth about like a
Yeah.
Mormon." Like yeah."
Well,
Tell me the tea.
apparently this guy Marciano, I don't know how to say it, but he's on Vanderpump Villa, and he's alleging that one of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives cast members like hooked up with him or kissed him, a married one. And so yes, so it's hard because it's like, okay, that show's a Hulu show, this is a Hulu show. Obviously, like any intertwined drama is good for the both shows. So
Yeah. So Stassi
I don't know
has
what's
her-
real.
Like I know Stassi. I remember Stassi. I remember when they all got booted from Vanderpump. I was terribly sad because I was like, they make good TV.
yeah,
I would love to see Stassi back on the Valley. Like if I'm being quite honest. But you said she has her own show and
yeah,
she's on
she
Valley?
never. Yeah, she's not doing the Valley. She's doing like Hulu shows. So she's getting her own show, which
Oh
I
yeah, the
don't.
Valley's on Peacock.
Yes, I know. I feel like
I'm
there's.
like, they're on Hulu. No, they're on Peacock.
I feel like they must be interconnected in some way because, like, yeah, because Lisa Vanderpump does Vanderpump Rules, which is
Yeah.
Peacock, and then she
Yeah.
does Vanderpump Villa on Hulu. So I don't know how they're interconnected. I know they're all only available in the USA.
Right.
Which, speaking of that, if you are not in the USA and you want to watch The Valley, because I'm not in the USA, I watch on. It's called Hey You, and we have it in Canada, the UK, And I think it's in Australia too. So if you don't have that app, that's where I watch all of my stuff, because before I found out about Hey You last year, I didn't know, like I had to watch on cable and they give us stuff like months later and it was terrible. So it's been a lifesaver because we don't have Bravo. Well, actually they did just bring Bravo to Canada, but we didn't have Bravo in Canada forever. Oh, wow. No Peacock. You can't get Peacock here. So wow. I know. So thankfully there's other streamers that like pick things up. So I have to watch on like all different ones. But Hey You has all the Housewives, nice. The Valley, like all that good stuff. So.
Oh, okay. Well, yay.
Yes, I know. Most people that have Peacock think it's like all over the world, and it's not, which is so silly. But yes. Okay. Anyways, so are we going to watch Vanderpump Villa? Like, let us know in the comments if you're watching it, because there's so many shows now. But
yeah, there was some other stuff coming out too that you sent me. So
yes, I know. It just never stops.
What you guys want us to watch. So
yes, but should we go back to the start of the episode? Because I got obviously
we started at the end, but let's go back to the beginning of the episode.
I know it was so hard to not get immediately into the Jax of it all, because
he's fucking psychotic. He is psychotic.
He took over the whole episode. But back to the beginning, they started out with Janet, Jasmine, and Brittany, and the little breakfast casserole. So she posted the recipe yesterday. I don't know. They said casseroles are only for white people.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
So you don't like casseroles? Because
I personally don't like casseroles. Now, my mom is Indian, for those of you guys who don't know. She be on Pinterest and TikTok making recipes, and she did, like, trying to make casseroles for some of our dinners and stuff, like Thanksgiving and stuff, and they just don't go over well.
No.
So no, we don't. Yeah, casseroles are for white people. That's a fair statement.
I was like, I do not do casseroles, but then I realized there is one casserole that my mother-in-law makes, and now I make it sometimes, but it's just like ground beef, macaroni, tomato sauce, corn, all, and like cheese all in a pot, and then you just eat that. So I'm like, it's like macaroni. That's not really like casserole-ish. This breakfast one she did looked like it had buns. It had a lot going on.
What's interesting is I watched episode 2 and I don't remember the casserole. So I'm like, did I miss the first 5 minutes of the episode or what?
It was right at the start. Remember Brittany, Jasmine, and they were like eating.
I don't know. Maybe the episode. Maybe somebody was watching it already, and it started up because I don't remember.
Oh, do you share your account?
Hell yeah! No, I don't. No, I don't.
She's not breaking any laws over here. Don't worry.
Like, we all pay for separate accounts. Me and my entire family. We all pay for separate accounts.
Remember, Janet was crying. Do you recall that? That's the casserole scene. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I missed the first couple of minutes because that's I think exactly where
she like dished out a little casserole, and Jasmine just made the little comment like casseroles are for white people, and she wasn't like completely messing with the casserole. So it was just a little side comment, but I had to hear your thoughts on casserole. So. But yeah, the main
make one. I think my mom tried to make a green bean casserole, and I was like, we were all like, just make some green beans.
Yeah, I'm like, I've heard of some weird like tuna casseroles or like anything with mushroom soup in it. I cannot. No.
Yes, that's what she puts in her green bean.
Is that the green bean one? Okay.
Mushroom casserole, mushroom soup, and nobody ate it.
Do you ever have that food when you're little, like you went to someone's house and they made it and you had to eat it, and now that's your food that you literally cannot ever see again because you got forced to eat it? That's mushroom soup for me. Like I have one time I had to eat it, and now I can never. Okay. And I like mushrooms, but mushroom soup has a distinct smell that is like.
Hey, some people put mushroom soup in their macaroni and cheese.
Oh my! That's a crime against food.
I remember one Thanksgiving, or I think it was a holiday, and I went to a friend's house, and their mom made macaroni and cheese, and everybody was ranting and raving how good it was, and it was the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted, and I didn't want to be rude. I had put a shit ton of it on my plate because everyone was saying it was going to be good, and and it was because she put mushroom soup in it, and I was like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted in my life.
No, mushroom soup has no place in macaroni. That's cheese and noodles. I don't want to see mushrooms.
There's a lot of things that go into macaroni now, Ashley. It's cheese and
it's not
noodles
just cheese and macaroni
and butter and egg and
you know,
if you make it the black people way, there's a lot more that goes into macaroni and cheese.
I was just gonna say, we skipped the seasoning over here, so I need some tips because I put a little breadcrumbs on mine.
That's what white people think. You don't put breadcrumbs on mac and cheese. You know what?
Oh no,
Teeny, she's a really popular chef on TikTok, and she's white, but she has a black husband. And she has a really good mac and cheese recipe on her.
And no breadcrumbs?
She does not put breadcrumbs on her mac and cheese. You make a little roux, you have to make a roux.
Yeah, we do that.
You make a roux, and you guys to, hook it up.
and season it. Okay, I'm
gonna
look.
Yes, you need some garlic powder. You need some pepper. You use some paprika for coloring. You need all the things.
Okay, we do the paprika, so I'm halfway there. I'll just.
You don't use garlic powder or seasoning salt. Do you guys have Laurie's out there?
I think so. No, Highs. You know what Highs is? That's like a seasoning salt. That's what I put in my spinach dip. I got the best spinach dip recipe.
See, and it's probably because of the seasoning salt.
It is, that bitch. Literally.
I'm telling you, season your mac and cheese. You're going to change the game on Thanksgiving.
Okay, I'm writing this down. Seasoning.
Season Laurie's.
Okay, now I want some mac and cheese. Anyways.
Oh my God. We went from casserole to mac and cheese to Thanksgiving.
Yes, we're now a food podcast. So. Okay, so the point of that scene was not the casserole. I just thought that was funny. But the point was Janet crying about Zach and Kristen still. So I saw some things online where Zach had said, someone's alleging he said some pretty crazy things. He wanted Janet to take her own life, or was okay if she it was pretty dark. So, wow. And I didn't know what was true, but then later we see Brittany sort of say I had to distance myself from Zach. So that makes me think it is true.
Right.
He said some stuff. I don't know if it was in the heat of the moment, but
stuff like that though. If he said that, that's
I think he went a little far.
That's unforgivable for sure.
Yeah, and I think Brittany kind of confirmed it by saying she had distanced herself from him. So I never thought any fight between Janet and Zach warranted those kind of comments, because it didn't seem like a big deal. They had a little whatever. So yeah, I see why she's crying about it, but I don't know why she keeps putting it on Kristen. It seems it was Zach.
She's literally, didn't she call her it was trying to have a conversation with a crazy person. So you are still insulting her.
Yeah, I know. I keep trying.
Shit. You still talking shit. You want the girl to be your friend, and you're sad it ended that way, but you're still talking shit.
I know. I keep trying to ride for Janet because I'm I like her. I feel like she could be good, but then she keeps going for Kristen, calling her crazy, which she doesn't deserve that. And nothing she's done lately, at least, is crazy. So it seems like she's just calling back to these old terms that people have used against Kristen to sort of get us riled up against her. But yeah, I feel like she should just focus on Zach and leave Kristen out of it, because they obviously were good friends at one point, and I think they could just work past this, and she could deal with Zach separately. So
yeah,
it's very odd,
too.
but
I think so too. You think they'll be friends again?
I don't know. We saw later in the season. It seems like her and Jasmine have a thing, which is weird. I was thinking that was a weird trio. It was Jasmine, Brittany, and Janet in this little scene, and I was I didn't know Jasmine was close with Janet like that to go over and eat a casserole. Okay, so the next scene we have is Kristen and Jax, which is hilarious. If anyone knows the lore on them, we know about the movie Drive, and they used to hook up, and they were cheating on their partners with each other. So to see this full circle moment of
he's you're at rock bottom with Kristen Doty's giving you advice.
That was so funny and
Yeah.
so true. Like, who would have thunk like that many years ago that Kristen is pregnant and has her life together and Jax is going to rehab? So it's
Right.
like
Right.
things have shifted. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, she gave him a good talking to, and like if you're not able to see your child, that should be your rock bottom, right? And
Right. And even so, even in talking to Kristen, he's trying to justify, like, well, I
yeah,
didn't just get upset for no reason. And like, she's literally telling him, you're justifying. Like, that's literally what you're doing. It's not right. I know I shouldn't have done it, but,
yeah.
and I'm like, you're
Yeah,
justifying.
like what? I don't understand why he's so mad. I mean, I guess I do because we remember with Vanderpump Rules, we were like when Schwartz was going to hook up with Raquel, and that was super annoying to
Yeah.
Katie. Like in the,
Yeah.
you're doing it in the friend group, we agreed not to. And so like if Jax was hooking up with someone in the friend group, we would all be like, "What a piece of crap! Like that's terrible." So,
Yeah.
I see his point of why this specifically is making him more mad than if it was just a random dude. Like,
For
okay,
sure.
he's his friend, but yeah, like Kristen said, you can be mad, you can be whatever, you can have all your feelings, but you can't throw tables and chairs. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the point he's missing. Like, nobody is saying that you don't have a reason to be mad. Like, anybody would be mad if their wife is hooking up with a friend. Do I think he would care as much if it wasn't his friend? Well, he would probably still
yeah,
care, but he wouldn't care
totally.
as much. And it is shitty. And I feel like nobody is telling Brittany that it's shitty. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And like you
I
just
know.
said, if it was Jax and the shoe was on the other foot, like he would be getting railed right now. But
Yeah,
to the point is like, okay, it still doesn't excuse you throwing table. Like, you need to find a better way to handle your anger, bro. And
yeah.
that's why you need to go to rehab, and that's why you need to get help, because you don't know how to handle your anger.
Yeah, like he has so much rage over little things. So of course this was going to set him off in like a massive way. And yeah, you have a child in the house. Like it's just not okay. And
Yeah.
they're separated. As much as it sucks, like she's allowed to do what she wants to do. And yeah, he did not handle that well. But it felt like he was already like he knew he was going to rehab, and they just kind of had this little scene in there to sort of
Yeah.
explain it to us because
Yeah.
I think he knew he didn't have a choice at that point. So
But also, how come you don't have any smoke for oh boy? Like, why do you have all the
Yeah.
smoke for Brittany? Granted, your wife is the one that owes you the loyalty, not your friend. But if this is somebody that you consider a friend, then your friend does owe you that loyalty. So
yeah, that's definitely a missing piece of this puzzle that I wish they would have put in if they had
Yeah.
him on the show and like
that
doing
would be
scenes.
juicy. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, get him on the show. Get him on the show.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he wasn't being honest about his life, and apparently he wasn't single, so that's probably why he won't come on the
Oh
show.
yeah. I forgot you did tell me that he wasn't single.
Yeah.
That would be such
But
a good
he
element.
should have known hooking up with Brittany that this was going to end up on the show, so he might as well
Right.
have just gone all the way and come on the show. So
I would have loved to see that actually.
Yeah.
So
His-
and that scene did seem a little staged, like between
Yeah.
Kristen and Jax, which is fine.
yeah, they kind of just wanted us to feel like how serious it was, but it is. I mean, obviously, if they had cameras there, I don't think Jax would have reacted the way he did with the throwing of the chairs. But it does feel.
You've seen how he reacted when he did not want to admit that he called Brittany fat or told
Yeah.
her she was ugly. He's like, I did not say that. Like, and
Yeah.
she's like, I literally. When she was pregnant, like you were saying
Mm-hmm.
this kind of stuff to her, I'm amazed that Jax and Brittany lasted this long. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Like, he didn't want to
Yeah.
admit to that because he already knows he's the villain. And like, she's like,
Yeah, and
I've
I
seen
saw-
the text messages, and he's still just like, no, I didn't say that. Like, okay, well then, I guess it was AI texting her then.
Yeah, he said she looked like a tree trunk or something, which is terrible. Yeah, I saw on the after show, all the cast were saying how they'd heard him say this. They'd seen text messages, like everyone was saying. And then yeah, he told her
Who talks
because she
about
had
their wife like that?
yeah, she's like I had his son and I had stretch marks, and he said you look like a tree trunk. So yeah, it is surprising they made it this long, but
Yeah.
I think yeah, she kept waiting for him to grow up, but we've seen that that's never gonna happen. So.
Right.
At least she's out now. But speaking of Brittany, the next scene was Zach coming over with the Chinese food, and Cruz was swimming. So something funny that is not really to do with the plot of this. I saw like they had Zach's logo like blurred out of what he was wearing. But I noticed in the scene before, like everyone had logos on and like they were showing. And then I saw at the end of the show, they were like special thanks to, and they had listed all the companies that's logos were showing. So it just made me realize that like people are actually paying the network to have their logos on the show. So like the whole thing is a big commercial. So that's just random. It has nothing to do with the show. But I was like, why are they blurring out Zach's logo?
I didn't even notice that. Like you're so observant.
I just noticed in every, like the scene with Jax and Kristen, like he had a logo, there was a logo on the cup, there was a logo here, like logos everywhere. And I was like, this is overwhelming. And then seeing that they get a special consideration at the end, which is probably something that's gone on forever in shows and movies. I think this is normal because we don't really do commercials now because everything's streaming. So I just thought that was funny. So I don't know what Zach was wearing, but they didn't pony up the cash, so they didn't get their logo on the show.
You didn't get no free promo.
Nope, they were blurred out, and it looked ridiculous. So
I didn't notice it. That's crazy.
It was so big. It was just this big blur across his chest, so I don't know what it was. But anyways, he took the sweater off. They kept saying how hot it was. It gets really hot there in the summer, right?
Because really hot, especially in the valley. So I actually live in the valley. That's why I think there's like an added element of like loving this show because I'm like, oh my god, like on the 30s,
it's your neighborhood.
Like, it's my neighborhood. So it's like a lot of the places that they're eating and they're going to, I'm like, oh, that's right down the street. Like, you know what I mean?
That's so cool.
So yeah, it does. It can get very, very hot out here during the summer.
Yeah.
So
that's what I said.
20 degrees hotter than like in the city, like, you know,
yeah.
Like it's right over the hill, but it's like it gets way hotter. So it is hot.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep filming in this. Like, it's just maybe because school, I don't know. The kids, I don't know. It just, to me, I wouldn't pick July and August to film in the valley. Like, it just seems silly. Like, why not, like, April and May?
That's the hottest time. That's the hottest time. August in the valley, it's like, we're getting up to, like, 110, sometimes 120. Like,
See, I live in, like, technically a desert, but we go by Celsius here, so I wouldn't even know. Because the one time it got up to 50 Celsius here, but I don't know what that is Fahrenheit, so it's hard to compare.
Yeah, I don't know Celsius either.
No. We're like different worlds. So.
Different worlds.
Speaking of that, Zach's boyfriend is from Canada, which is so funny because they were talking about him getting deported, and later in the episode he said he's like taking a vacation visa. But I keep seeing people, I don't know if it's just like scaring us, but I keep seeing people post of like not being allowed to go in for vacations and stuff. So I'm worried now because I've come a couple times just for a couple of days, and when they ask what I'm doing there, it's so hard to explain. Like one time I was going for that Emmys thing, and I was like, oh, I'm just going for this event. And then they're like, oh, like, so TV. I'm like, no, I don't get paid though. It's not a job. Like, I'm going for fun. So it's hard. Yeah. Now I'm nervous for the next time I go, because I think when you're going alone with like a little tiny backpack, they're like, you're trying to sneak in here and stay forever. So.
You're trying to stay.
Yeah,
you're like, girl, nobody wants to stay. Like, you good in Canada, girl. No, nobody wants to stay.
It's not so bad here.
Years or something. Come after
like
4 years.
I'm like, I got kids. I swear, I have to go back. Even if I want to stay in LA, I don't got no hope of that. So
yeah, you will one day. One day soon. Once we, once our podcast blows up, you're gonna have to come to LA. Because Ashley's husband said that once she's making more money than him, then they can move to LA, which that's gonna be very, very soon.
I don't know. We had a lot of years of being broke, but lately he makes pretty good money, so we're gonna have to do pretty good. So
no, all it takes is one deal, Ashley.
That's true.
You've seen Nick Viall's deal. You saw it. Like it's gonna take one deal. He gonna be like, damn, you made more money than me in the last 10 years with one deal.
Nick Viall has the fancy studio in LA, and all the people go there. So, but you live in LA, so I mean, you could do that, and I'll just zoom in on the corner. So
yeah, but he doesn't anymore. Now,
that's true.
He doesn't have the fancy studio anymore, so you don't need a fancy studio to, I think, be successful.
That's true.
You know, I think it.
Yeah,
helps. I think aesthetically it helps.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that anymore. Now he's going to be doing all his podcast interviews on Zoom anyway.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do. It seems like, this technology is so cool now. But
yeah.
Anyway, back to Britt and Zach. I'm like, I know they were eating Chinese food, and then Cruz was swimming. But, Oh, that's when she talked about how she distanced herself, but we kind of
Yeah,
already
and then he
chatted
cried,
about that.
and then he cried about
Yes.
it, and then they
About his
talked a
man.
little bit about his man, which I think they're cute.
Yeah, I think they're still together from what I've seen on social media, so I guess they've worked it out. But the scene after that was a lot crazier. That was Jesse and Michelle trying to have a little chat about their custody schedule, which was
Yes.
awkward as hell. So
Yes.
I'm surprised that those two people can even get together to film because they hate each other.
They
So
hate each other. It's almost, it's like crazy to think like you guys were married. Oh boy, like you guys actually liked each other.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so hard to see now.
it
You know,
is.
I thought it was really interesting that she said like, "Oh, you try and cry so that I come off looking cold and you come off looking, you know,
Yeah.
like emotional." And it was really funny because
Yeah.
it's like I agree. Like, you know, she, you know, like first of all, he's like being a fucking asshole and then tries to cry. Like, no,
Yeah.
you don't get to cry now after you've been an asshole to me during
Yeah.
this whole conversation. Like,
I definitely think he's very calculated and he knows the cameras are there and he knows what to say and to do to make her look bad. And if she really did cheat on him, which everybody's pretty sure about, it's hard because no matter how he was acting or treating her, you know, that's not excusable. It's like he should have ended the marriage and then found this boyfriend.
Right.
So he really like relies on that of like
Right.
knowing the audience hates cheating. And so he keeps bringing that up at any chance that he can. But
Yeah.
because he was like, yeah, like I was a terrible husband, but I didn't cheat. But it's like, okay, you still can't treat someone terribly. Like he's trying to act now like, yeah, like he's trying to do all the right things and she's not. But we know probably when those cameras go down, he's not being so agreeable.
Definitely not. He's like, he said he's gonna make her life a living hell, and like,
Yeah.
or even like, oh, I did not say that. Like, nobody wants to admit to the things that they said off camera. They're not going to admit to them on camera. And I think it's so funny that he's so hell-bent on cheating, and then it's like they drop the bombshell that like this current girlfriend that you're so in love with is also cheating.
Can I just say, I know this is not a
Does
popular.
anybody know who the girl is?
Yes, I've looked it all up.
Okay.
And I
What's
know
not a popular opinion? Go tell me.
I know it's not a popular opinion, but I love Sheena. Like I need her on these shows. She
I need
gets
her
the
on
gossip
She's
like
messy.
we do.
She's messy. She's good for TV.
She's great, and like on
Yeah.
her podcast, she always drops the tea that she maybe shouldn't, and we need her to stir this up. You know,
Stir
she's
the
always
pot.
willing.
She's a spot
Yes.
stirrer. So yes, please get all of them. Just make the Valley the new Vanderpump. I've
Yeah.
never met a messier group of adults in my life. I love it.
Yeah, like we need Sheena to get these plot points going. So I know some people don't want to see her on the show and they want it to just be different, but I love that she just totally interjected in this world and is like, "Yep, I heard this."
Yeah,
And
not only did I hear this, but I know with who. Like,
yeah, yeah. So this girl, her name is Lacey. And people keep saying, like, she's not on the show. So that's like, okay, maybe she doesn't want the spotlight. But when I looked her up yesterday, like, she's following a bunch of Bravo pages and she's like, you know, in the scene. And so I don't know. It's not giving. Like, if you really didn't want to be involved, you'd just be private and, like, not
if you're
following the
threatening to
pages.
sue people for talking about you on camera, like you would think that you want to be as incognito as Dave's sister.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
and
you
of
don't
course,
want no
like,
parts.
it showed her, like, recently following David Hasselhoff. So is that the Baywatch guy? Or is she just trying to get us talking?
Right.
Because I looked it up, and he's married, I think. So when she said Baywatch guy, like, does she mean the movie? The Zac Efron movie? Does she mean the show?
Yeah,
Does she
we
mean
don't know.
David Hasselhoff? Does she mean his son, Jeremy Jackson? I don't know who they're talking about. But she follows David Hasselhoff. Do you know who that is?
Yes,
Like
I do.
the-
know David
the
Hasselhoff. Yes,
The
yeah.
older man. So
Yeah, it seems like you said, a ploy to get us talking.
yeah.
And it's just like, I just thought it was so funny that he was like, "Oh, who said that?" Like, okay, well, let's call them right now. And then he's like, "Okay, like she's
like,
not
yep.
even telling people she's dating you. She's telling people she's dating
Yeah.
this other guy," which is like so embarrassing.
And that would be such a weird thing for Sheena to make up. Like, that's just so random.
Right.
And now I go to her page and she's following the guy from Baywatch. So it's
Or following
like,
a guy from Baywatch to make people think like it's interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
well,
so
but are her and they're not still together, Jesse and
they
her.
are.
Oh,
So I
okay.
listened to Teddy and Tamara's podcast, and they are like friends with Jesse because they interviewed him, and they checked in with him, and he said he's still with her. So I don't know if this is like a storyline, because why is she following David Hasselhoff, and why would she tell people that and then threaten to sue them if they talked about it, and why isn't
Yeah.
she just on the show then? It's very
Yeah, like
complicated.
just be on the show. Like if you want to
Mhm.
be in the mix, girl, I'm sure they'll let you on the show. Like be in the mix. Is she a cute
Yeah.
girl?
Yeah, she's a cute girl. She has a lot going on her page. I don't know enough about her story to like relay it to you guys. I mean, her Instagram is public, so I'm assuming like I don't like to dox people, but she's on this show and like it's out there, so I don't think it's a problem. But her name is Lacey Nicole, and she has all of these like posts about she's been like kidnapped before. Yeah, and like she has all this like crazy stuff on her. I don't know if you can see it, but
Let me see that username. I'm about to go creep.
so it's late LACYOC. But
Okay.
apparently she doesn't want any. Oh, she has a podcast, so I think she's okay with being talked about then. So her podcast is called Shame to Sparkle podcast. See, now we're just this is probably the whole David Hasselhoff thing was just a big joke so that we'll talk about her, and now we'll go look at her podcast. So she's smart because
Lacey. Oh, and she has. I mean, she's a mental health philanthropist. She has a pretty big following.
She does, yeah. And apparently she's like been approached about doing the Real Housewives before, or like in conversations and turned it down. So
How old is this girl?
I have no idea. What?
I don't know if this is just a really not a great picture of her, but
I would think like probably I don't even know how old Jessie is. I just realized I'm like Jessie's age, however old that is, I have no idea.
maybe
But
that's just a really. I think that was just a really terrible picture of her because she looks a lot. Yeah. Okay. These pictures.
yeah, I mean her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a lot of events. She goes to a lot of events and stuff. So I don't know enough about her backstory, but we'll find out more.
Yeah, this is much better. Like the other pictures I was seeing, I was like, clear. I mean, she's had some work done, but who hasn't? I haven't, but
I know. I'm like me either. I need people to help me. I'm like, where do I start? No, don't tell me, please. Let's not open that can of worms. But
okay, what was next? What else happened on this week's episode?
oh yeah, sorry. I'm like still looking at Lacey O.C. Is he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about this whole Baywatch thing. Anyways, I'm happy to see Sheena back, and give us the more mess, please, Sheena.
Me too. Yes.
We haven't seen Lala yet, so we'll see how that goes. But Sheena, so far, A+ for bringing the drama. So
Yes.
next we had Danny and Jace. No, yeah, Danny and Jason. Jax's real name is Jason, so that gets confusing.
Okay.
But
Okay. Danny and Jason talking to Jax and
yes, the little
him.
intervention. I know that was kind of silly. I'm like,
Yeah,
not much to say there.
You already did it. Yeah, you already did it with Kristen. I don't think it took two
Yeah.
scenes to get the point across that Jax sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think before they filmed this episode, it was already decided that Jax was going to this facility, and so this whole episode was basically just setting it up for us to understand why he's not going to be there for a few episodes.
Right.
So yeah, it kind of was like, what's the word? Beating a dead horse. Like, we saw him with Kristen, we get it. We don't need this too, but just giving them all a little part in it of like convincing him to go. So maybe it was real. I mean, he did seem reluctant to go, so it probably did take a lot of convincing, but anyways, that was just a little whatever. Then we get into Michelle, Janet, and Brittany at lunch or having drinks together and talking about this Lacey girl that we were just mentioning and how she's threatening to sue them. So she must have got word, obviously, from Jesse that they were talking about her. And I noticed they didn't, like when Jesse called Sheena, they cut it out. He obviously said her name, and they cut out and put in my friend from the OC or whatever.
Yeah.
So it seems like she doesn't want her name mentioned on the show.
Right.
I just realized we just mentioned her name. I don't know if we're gonna get sued now, but
the thing is like you're on the show, you're dating him, and just like they said at the conversation, like if you don't want your business out there, then don't date somebody who's on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
Like,
and I heard her name on other podcasts, so it's not coming from.
You're already linked to him.
Mm-hmm.
You have an ongoing storyline with him.
Yeah.
you follow Bravo pages. You do want us talking about you,
Yeah.
but you think it somehow makes it better to like want to stay incognito. Like that's
Yeah.
just not how it works. Like if you really wanted to maintain a private life and that was of the utmost importance, you wouldn't date somebody whose life is on reality TV, because fast forward, she's probably going to be on next season. Like,
And talking,
you know what I mean? Like,
and talk, like, she should know better than to tell Sheena her business. Like, that was silly. If you really want to be private, don't tell someone on a reality show your business, because that's crazy. So
right.
yeah, I don't get, like, they introduced her by this, like, Sheena telling her business, but now we don't get to see Jesse confront her about it. So that's kind of frustrating, because it's like you're bringing in the storyline and now we don't know what's going to happen with that, unless it does come up later. But
well, I'm sure like I would imagine that they're going to have some type of scene to where Jesse's going to explain to somebody what happened between the two of them. But again, like you said, she's so ingrained in the story. Like, girl, just come on the show.
Yeah.
Like, I think you think it sounds better to be like, I don't want to be on reality TV. I do not want no parts of this. I'm going to send everyone a cease and desist. Like, girl, nobody's saying your name. You're going to send them a cease and desist for what? For saying Jesse's girlfriend? Like, you are Jesse's girlfriend.
Yeah. So come on the show and explain yourself. So.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure you can explain why you told Sheena that you was dating somebody from Baywatch. Like, tell us what happened. Like, honestly, if you don't come on the show, just gives people space to talk and like make assumptions.
We're looking at your page now and just deciding for ourselves. So
yeah, girl, you better
yeah, you might as well come on.
I think that's so like, and it's like they were speaking nicely of her. They were like, oh, we better, like, she seems like a nice girl, like.
Yeah, even Kristen said on the after show, was like, I guess Kristen and Jesse are like buddies now, so obviously things don't go well between her and Michelle, because they do like double dates with them. So yeah, no one is saying anything bad except for Sheena, I guess.
Yeah, but again, like you said, you tell Sheena your business is because you want it to get out there. Everybody knows that about Sheena. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's the gossip queen, and we love that about her.
She's trying to get on the show so bad without like saying that she wants to get on the show.
Yeah, and it's weird that she would text Michelle, like she said, a horrific text. So it was really Sheena that brought it up. So text Sheena then, because you know you said it.
I wish she would have read the text, but I guess maybe you can't do that. Like,
probably like, that's probably part of the cease and desist, because they never really gave us the exact.
You didn't send me a cease and desist, and in the state of California, you just need consent from one person to release text messages. I know that because I had to look it up, because I'll be releasing people's text messages on my TikTok.
Yes. That's our MO. I love when they were talking about the allegedly, like Brittany holding up the allegedly sign. I'm like, that's our favorite word.
Allegedly, that's her. Allegedly, her Instagram is Lacey OC. Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. This whole podcast is allegedly. It's not really her.
We don't know if that is her, but allegedly that's her. So
yeah. I know. I'm like, she might as well come on at this point, but I'm sure she will. It's only 2 episodes in, so we'll see how that goes. Right. Maybe she even is on this season and they just haven't showed her yet, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then the scene we already discussed a little bit of Jax and Brittany. That was, like I said, he made it seem as though he was coming clean about his addiction problems, but now that we watch, it's clear it was outed on the show, and he knew, like, I have to get ahead of this. And so that's where I'm like, it's so weird that they have the same publicist. I just don't know how that works. Cause
insane. Like, he's insane. That scene was insane. The gaslighting, I feel like that word's overused, but like the manipulation, the projecting, like all of it. I'm like, oh my God, I just know he was a nightmare to be married to. Like,
yes, I can't even imagine. Like, if that's how he talks on camera and in front of her friends and family, like, what is he like behind closed doors? I can't. And I'm so sick of him saying about his dad. He lost his dad a few years ago, and
right? Wasn't it on camera when he lost his dad? Like,
no, I think it was, or maybe, I can't remember, but I know it was about like 4 years ago, 5 years, around there. Mm-hmm. But he uses that a lot now as his excuse, and he acted like this before that happened. So, I mean, grief does do things to people, but everyone has lost, like, not everyone, but you're lucky if you haven't lost someone close to you at this point, and no one else is treating their wife the way he's treating Brittany, or like, you know, you can't use that as an excuse forever. So I'm tired of him saying that, because
and then he's like, and then I don't have my mom, right? Like, he doesn't have a good relationship with his mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened exactly, but he stopped talking to her. Something to do with his dad's.
With his dad, right?
death.
I remember. I remember that vaguely, like that being in an episode somewhere.
But yeah, I mean, everyone has family stuff, and he's 45, right? So it's
Right. So
like,
we do know that Brittany does end up filing for full custody of Cruz, and right. And so does that mean he didn't stay the 30 days?
no, he did stay the 30 days.
Okay.
So she never did the restraining order, from what I know.
Okay.
I don't think she filed for like full custody. Like, I know he has some sort of visitation.
Okay.
But it sounds like from her after show interviews, she doesn't believe he's sober and she doesn't believe he's changed. So I think she's sort of in like a wait and see mode right now.
Not
because
when he tried to throw her under the bus and she was like, "You have a coke problem," and he was like you've never done it. And she's
I
like,
know.
"Give me a drug test right now. I'll pass. You won't. Will you?"
Yeah.
Like, it was like, ooh.
Yeah, it was pretty clear when his lady friend left at 8 a.m. and he came in like high as a kite that he had been like he was on drugs in that scene. So yeah, he
Jax needs some help. So it's good that he's going to get it. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out without him being there for 30 days. But I mean, I think there's so much drama going on elsewhere that it's a time. Okay? It is a time.
There's a lot happening on this show. And that was a dark one. And they didn't put like, usually they'll do like a trigger warning about addiction or mental health issues or abuse. And I mean, I think obviously they're trying to not label what Jax did to Brittany abuse, because then it's like you're platforming an abuser. You're putting him on TV still.
Yeah.
Just because he went away for 30 days doesn't mean you didn't still throw a chair at her. So they're really... They're getting in dangerous territory with Jax, because I don't think he has changed, according to Brittany. So
he hasn't changed since we first saw him on TV, which is like crazy.
Yeah, and now like you're putting him on TV. He has these rage issues. Brittany's only going to continue to see and date other people, and how is he going to handle that? We want to see the drama, but this seems to take it to like a weird level.
Like, why do you care what I do if I look like a tree, bitch? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever the hell you said to me, like.
That's the thing, right? It's just control. Like, he doesn't want to be with Brittany, and I don't think he wants to sleep with her, but he doesn't want anyone else to, and that gets very dangerous.
And it sucks, because I remember when Brittany first came onto Vanderpump, and she was so sweet, and she was so gorgeous, like, you know what I mean, and she just seemed like the sweetest little Kentucky biscuit, you know what I mean, and I just like, even like, obviously, like, we see her on Vanderpump, like, slowly start with like the boobs, and then you could tell she starts with the filler and the Botox, and then I think people get like Botox blindness to where they can't like see that it's too much. You know what I mean? Like, one of my best friends actually got like Botox and filler for the first time. And she got like very, very subtle, and she was like, "I think I'm gonna put a little bit more in my lip." I was like, "No, bitch, you're not," because people get filler blindness. And I was like, "They look great. They look very natural. I can barely tell that you did anything to your lip. If you do anything else to it, I'm gonna be able to tell. So leave it alone." She was like, "Okay."
That's what my husband says, because sometimes I'm like, "Oh, I want to do this or this," and he's like, "It's like a bonsai tree. You like start to do a little, and then you get addicted, and you do a little more, and you do a little more, and then all of a sudden you look like not yourself anymore."
Crazy. Then you look
like
little Kim. And I'm just like,
literally, though.
But I'm saying, like, Brittany, you could just tell, like, it went from like maybe subtle to like, you could tell she's had work done, and you can tell she's not had great work done. No offense to Brittany, I think she's still beautiful, but like, you could tell that some of the work.
Well, last season she was like, her mouth was like this the whole time, because she had the whatever it's called, the Kybella, and it like pulls the rest of your face down. She did it right. She talked all about this. She did it right before they filmed, and it did some crazy things. So I think the problem is now, like, 20-year-olds get things done, and then you can always tell when someone has stuff done. So then you're like, you put them in a category in your brain of like, that person has had work done, so they must be this age, right? And so if you think you're making yourself look younger, but by getting it done, you're making yourself look older.
Yeah.
But obviously
it's like you have to do it the right way. Like I said, like, there are some people that have it done that you would never be able to tell unless they mentioned it. You know, like
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend who she gets her little pew pew Botox filler. I would never be able to tell, like, 'cause she gets it so like minimal, you know, and it's just like, you know, to balance out her face or whatever. And like, but there's a way to do it, and the people, like I said, they just get Botox blindness and they can't freaking.
See, I think the way to do it now is don't ever do the Botox filler, and you just wait, and then you just do the little facelift, and then you just pop it back up again.
Pop that shit right on back up.
I don't know what I'm talking about, though, so don't take my advice.
You know, yeah, that's so funny.
But I'm like, I've waited this long, so I might as well just do the full thing instead of
right. Like,
trying
I'll
to
just
do
wait at this point.
Yeah.
My eye cream's been working. I'm like,
like,
it's almost time.
No, see, everyone is their own worst critic, right? And that's why it gets dangerous to do the work, like you said, because then you're like,
you'll always find something. You'll always
yes.
be like, oh, well, if I just get a little bit more, it's just...
Yeah, then you just keep going and going. But you're right. Some people you don't even know because they do it so well. So just got to find the right injectionist, as they say. Yes.
If anyone wants to sponsor us, you just let us know.
Anyone wants to sponsor us for anything. No, that's what I've always been good on my page. Like, I don't ever do ads unless I actually like something. So I have no experience in this field. But... we're willing to try anything. So, ain't even got anything weird. You never know until you try it, right?
I try to do that too. Like, I know I got like a request to do like an ad for a sex toy.
Do
I
it.
couldn't do it. I was like, nah, y'all not paying enough for me to promote this.
Love it.
Like, I can't even, like, how to, because you can't show it. So I'm like, I don't know what to even say. Like, no, thank you. I can't do it. I can't do it. My mom follows me. No, thank you.
I love it. Or like, Lisa Rinna, she was on Housewives. She did like Depends, like, you know, Depends. And she got paid so much. And she was like, I don't care. I'm cashing this check. And that was funny.
Okay, it depends. I do Depends if it was like, what are you
Would you rather do Depends or the sex toy? Depends.
Right?
Well,
I mean, depends, like, paying more. Like, the sex toy wasn't paying enough. Like, I'm like, my mom follows me, my cousins follow me. Like,
I need the embarrassment money here.
Like, I need it. Like, yes.
Yeah. Free samples, though. We'll always take We'll try it. I mean,
we'll try it out. If you want to send one. You're so fucking funny.
Yeah, we might not do the ad, but privately.
We will try the product and give you an honest review.
Oh my god, we're silly today.
Oh god, okay, so we're having to.
We're
okay,
silly.
so that was the episode. We will.
Sorry, we got off topic as we do. We do every time we get off topic. But
we covered the episode. We did our job. So we will
check your mail.
Yeah.
For the vibrators.
It should be one. I'm gonna have to pay those high tariffs, but that's okay.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I like shopping in your country, so tell your president to stop tariffing us so I can keep buying everything I like. Yeah, thank you. Yes. I know you have so much control on the tariffs in there, so.
I'll make sure. I'll send him a message, see if he answers. So.
Well, we'll be, yes, good times as always. And we'll be back with Battle Camp. I started the first episode today. It's good so far, so.
Okay, I'll start today, so we'll be back on Tuesday with Battle Camp?
Yes, back on Tuesday. Okay, bye guys.
Bye guys.